Howdy horror hounds. Gather around because tonight, we're diving head first into the wacky world of 1984. A year that brought us a prime slice of cinematic cheese from the golden age of horror. If you are into rubber monsters, creepy crawlies, and enough camp to set up a tent city that's Ghoulies, this film is a wild ride from start to finish. Filled with bizarre creatures and over-the-top antics. The plot centers around a young man who inherits a creepy old mansion and accidentally summons a group of mischievous little monsters. These ghouls are not your average horror villains. They're tiny, they're weird, and they're absolutely unforgettable. The movie poster, with its eye-popping image of a mischievous ghoulie erupting from the porcelain throne, became a legend in its own right. The image was so iconic that it became a cultural touchstone, a testament to the power of a good marketing gimmick. Even if the movie itself didn't quite live up to the poster's promise, it left an indelible mark on the horror genre. Ghoulies may not have been a critical darling, but it found its place in the hearts of horror fans everywhere. Its blend of humor, horror, and sheer absurdity made it a cult classic. So whether you're a seasoned horror aficionado or a newbie looking for a good laugh, Ghoulies is a must-watch. It's a film that reminds us that sometimes the most enduring images come from the most unexpected places. Our story follows young Jonathan Graves, a fellow who inherits his dad's spooky old mansion. This mansion isn't just any old house. It's a sprawling, eerie estate, nestled deep in the woods, shrouded in mystery and whispers of the supernatural. The locals say it's haunted, and they might just be right. Jonathan's pops was a card-carrying member of the Satanic Panic Club, a secret society that dabbled in the dark arts. He spent his life collecting rare and powerful artifacts, performing rituals and delving into the unknown. His obsession with the occult was well known, and he left behind a legacy steeped in mystery and danger. And he left behind a whole mess of occult goodies for his boy to play with. From ancient tombs filled with forbidden knowledge, to strange artifacts that hummed with otherworldly energy. Jonathan's inheritance was filled with the bizarre and the arcane. Jonathan, being the curious sort, decides to dabble in a little dark magic. He starts by reading the old books, trying to decipher the cryptic symbols and incantations. His curiosity soon turns into obsession as he becomes more and more engrossed in the dark arts. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as it turns out, quite a lot. The skies darken, the wind howls, and an ominous feeling settles over the mansion. Jonathan's experiments with the occult start to have unintended consequences. Well, let's just say things go south faster than a greased weasel in a hen house. Strange noises echo through the halls, shadows move on their own, and Jonathan starts to feel like he's being watched. Panic sets in as he realizes he's unleashed something he can't control. Jonathan's occult shenanigans awaken a horde of mischievous beasties known as Ghoulies. These small, creepy creatures emerge from the shadows, their eyes glowing with malevolent glee. They're not just any monsters, they're tricksters, reveling in chaos and mayhem. They knock over furniture, break windows, and generally make a mess of things. Their antics are both terrifying and absurd, leaving Jonathan scrambling to contain the madness. They're like the rowdy neighbors of the monster world, always up for a good time, even if it means scaring the living daylights out of everyone. Their laughter echoes through the night, a chilling reminder of the chaos they've unleashed. Now let's talk about the stars of the show, the Ghoulies themselves. These little devils are a product of their time, a glorious testament to the art of practical effects. They might not hold up to today's CGI-fueled extravaganzas, but there's a certain charm to their rubbery grins and googly eyes. Compared to their contemporaries like the Gremlins or the Critters, the Ghoulies are a bit rough around the edges. They're more akin to mischievous puppets than terrifying monsters. But hey, that's part of their appeal. They're like the wacky uncles of the creature feature family. You might chuckle at their antics, but you gotta admire their commitment to the bit. Occult adventures and comedic mishaps theme Ghoulies. This cult classic from the 80s ain't exactly a film school masterpiece, but it does dabble in some surprisingly dark themes. The film is a curious blend of horror and comedy, creating a unique viewing experience. We got witchcraft, Satanism, and the corrupting influence of power. These elements are woven into the narrative, giving it a dark, eerie undertone. But don't worry, it never takes itself too seriously. The film balances its darker themes with a healthy dose of humor. It's more interested in delivering cheap thrills and goofy laughs than profound social commentary. The tone is all over the map, veering wildly between horror and comedy. One minute you're watching a creepy ritual, the next you're treated to a ghoulie riding a toy train. This jarring shift in tone is part of the film's bizarre charm. It's like a cinematic roller coaster ride designed by a sugar-crazed carnival barker. The film's unpredictability keeps you on your toes, never quite knowing what to expect next. It's a wild ride from start to finish. The blend of horror and comedy is not for everyone, but for those who appreciate the absurd, it's a delightful experience. Ghoulies is a film that doesn't take itself too seriously, and neither should you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Now let's delve into the behind-the-scenes shenanigans that went into making this cult classic. Did you know that it was originally going to be filmed in glorious 3D? That's right, folks. They even had some of the actors sporting those stylish anaglyph glasses. But alas, the 3D dream was short-lived. After just 2 days of shooting, the filmmakers decided to ditch the gimmick. Probably for the best, as 3D technology back then was about as convincing as a cardboard cutout of Bigfoot. This was also on Joe Bob's back in the day, and here are the totals he had for his rating. Joe Bob's Drive-In totals. A story. Well, it kept me awake mostly. 4 out of 5 stars. Blood. Not enough to make a vampire blush. 3 out of 5 stars. Boobs sadly non-existent. 0 out of 5 stars. Overall, a rootin' tootin' good time for fans of cheesy horror. 4 out of 5 stars.